Now I can? So what we're doing today is we're planting all of the summer vegetables, that is all the vegetables and produce that needs hot weather. So Montreal is a bit strange and particular in that it has the largest swing between hottest temperature and coldest temperature out of any city in the world. It did trade off at some points with Moscow, but now it's only Montreal that has the largest swing between hot and cold. And as a result, there's very little time in spring, and then there's little time in fall. So to extend the growing season, we plant earlier. Oh, and the summers are very, very hot. So we plant cool, hardy stuff in the springtime that can tolerate a light to medium frost, things like spinach, lettuces, and that sort of thing. And then we take those out because they go to seed very quickly and they can't tolerate the super hot weather. And that's what we're doing today. And we're also planting eggplants, tomatoes, cucumbers, all the things that basically we usually associate with summer vegetables. We also are keeping our Swiss chard and kale because they are one of the few things that can survive both the cold weather as well as the super hot weather. So that's what's happening today. And then in August, we'll actually take out some of the stuff that we planted, and then we'll replant a lot of the lettuces so that our growing season goes until November. And a bunch of the volunteers are here. They're making self-watering containers, and we're expanding. With the summer planting, we expand the gardens actually to roughly double the size. Is that good? Our partnership here is with Urban Seedling, and Urban Seedling is actually one of the organizations, or it's a small business that pioneered this whole idea of actually trying to extend the growing season by planting earlier than is normal or usual in Montreal. That's usually, people say, wait until after Victoria Day weekend. So last weekend was when people really started planting or putting anything into the ground here in Montreal. But we planted our first thing on April 22nd. So we actually get a full month of growing. And so the lettuces that they're pulling up today and the produce that they're pulling up today is huge. We've had a pretty big harvest as a result. And so now we're actually getting all the other stuff into the ground, and we'll continue to harvest throughout the summer. And then we'll have another harvest, so we'll have three basic harvests over the summer. And Urban Seedling is the organization that really tried to convince, or has tried to convince everybody that that's totally worthwhile in Montreal, because you can actually plant fairly early, like basically the week of April 20th, and then you can actually take your gardens all the way until November, whereas most people start after Victoria Day weekend, and then they actually pull up their gardens in October, so at the beginning of October. So we get a full month on both ends of that extra of growing, and that usually means about 2 harvests because we do lettuces during that time period. So it's neat. It is a bit strange because we have to do a lot of education around it. Lots of people think that we're just crazy for trying to plant that early, but we plant every single year on Earth Day.